I just recorded half of the video and I didn't have a microphone on. What's going on, everybody? My name's Corey and welcome back to a thing you guys seem to like, so I'm gonna do a little bit more of them. It's a deck tech video. It's a deck tech. You guys seem to like this, so I'm going to try to bring one to you every Saturday afternoon or evening. Or morning. Maybe be Saturday morning. Saturday morning I like better. Everyone likes things on Saturday morning, like cartoons and cereal and things. Let's keep it at that. Don't hold me to that schedule, because if I break it, I'm sorry. I got something a little shifty for you today. It's a deck I've been tweaking for about 2 weeks now. I played it yesterday. I made some adjustments to it. I feel like maybe now should be ever so sweet. It is a blue-white, well, this is what I'm calling it. Blue-white Displacer Shenanigans. F you. That's not what I want to call it. Yeah, it is. Probably. But anyway, it's Blue-White Displacer. MTG Goldfish, I'm calling it. It's just called UW Displacer Shenanigans. I'm sure from the name you can understand what card is the forerunner of this deck. It's Eldrazi Displacer. We'll talk about him in a second though. So as always, let's get started by starting off with the creatures. I don't know what that. What's that? Let's start off with probably the most important creature. You know what? I wouldn't say he's the most important creature in the deck, but Eldrazi Displacer. Now, the reason I'm saying he's not the most important creature, think of it like this. You're at a party. The party's going great, right? And then this guy shows up, and he's got pizza. You didn't really need the pizza, because the party was really good anyway. Maybe you had, like, I don't know, maybe one of those tables that had all the chips and stuff, like an assortment, and, you know, it's cool. But then he brings pizza, and you're like, dude, you brought pizza? And he's like, dude, I brought pizza. And then he just keeps giving you pizza because he can exile the original pizza and then bring out more pizza. That's it's Eldrazi Displacer. White and two and a white. He's a 3/3 with the Void, but we want him for his ability, and you'll see why in a second. The ability here is for 2 and a colorless. You exile target creature, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. What could we possibly do with this? Here you go. Here's an example. Boom! Reflector Mage. A blue, a white, and 1. A 2/3. When he enters the battlefield, he can return a creature an opponent controls back to its owner's hand, and then that person cannot cast that same spell the next turn. I'm completely screwing the mana curve here. The order, not the curve. The curve is fine, but how I explain it to you, I messed it up. I went backwards. We'll go back. But this is just an idea. So I have 3 of the Displacer, 4 of Reflector Mage, because this guy, he got me out of a pinch a few times in the few games that I played with him. I think he's a really, really good card. And then with Eldrazi Displacer, GG, buddy. Anyway, back to the front of the curve here. We have a 4 of Dimensional Infiltrator. It's 1 and a blue. It's a 2/1. He has Flash, Devoid, and Flying, which is what I want. This originally started off as a blue-white Flyers deck and then immediately fizzled out because as I was looking through the cards and I saw Displacer, I was like, oh, I like Displacer. Oh. And then I was eating pizza, hence the pizza analogy. He just stayed, the Dimensional Infiltrator stayed in there because he was a 2-drop who had Flying. And actually, it didn't even start as him. It started as Mist Intruder, 4 of a Mist Intruder. So you can kind of mix and match. Yesterday, the Mist Intruder did really well in the games that I played. I just I can't find any really good 1-2-drop cards that when they enter the battlefield they do anything really good for a Displacer, but you need something early, so Dimensional Infiltrator is what I'm going to stick with for now and see how it goes. It's pretty good. Also, for 1 and a colorless, you can have an opponent exile the top card of his or her library. If it's a land card, you may return the dude to their hand. So you can actually do this in response to a spell, or you can block and then maybe do this to it to get them out of there after the damage is dealt, and then you can flash them back in after, and just, you know, you're good, you're golden, baby. Next up on the list, we have a 4 of Harbinger of the Tides. This guy, tempo. This is really, it's a tempo deck. It really is supposed to stop your opponent from doing what they want to do so you can swing in for the win. But with this guy here, 2 blue, you can cast him for, as if he had flash, for 2 extra mana, so it could be a 2-drop, it could be a 4-drop. But when he enters the battlefield, you may return a target tapped creature to its owner's hand, which isn't bad. And then again, we have ways of tapping creatures, and then we have ways of putting them back in their hands. And then if we can displace him, boom, more creatures back into their hands. We can swing in on an open battlefield. It's amazing. You need Harbinger of the Tides. Next up on the list, I have a 3 of Stratus Dancer. Again, this is a flexible slot. In my playtesting, he didn't do really what he's meant to do, which is counter a target instant or sorcery spell. He didn't get a chance to do that a lot because I was using a lot of the mana to set up combos that rarely went off because I was playing multiplayer games, and you know what? Screw you guys. I hate both of you. Am I supposed to be my friend? So this guy, he is very flexible. I like him because, again, I started this as a Flyers deck. He's flying, he's got Megamorph, and when he flips, he counters an instant or sorcery spell, which is pretty good. I think I'm going to keep him around just for a little bit longer, just because I feel like he will do what I want him to do, and he's a good piece of the team to have. He's low drop, low mana cost card, so he could be a 2-drop, he could be a 3-drop, and then on the next turn, counter a spell. If you're in a pink pickle. If you're in a pink pickle, you can flip your Stratus Dancer to counter a target sorcery. Next up on the list, we have Whirler Rouge, a 4 of Whirler Rouge. One of the more expensive creatures to play. 2 blue and 2 colorless. He's a 2/2, but when she enters the battlefield, we put 2 Thopter tokens into the battlefield. Her second ability is you can tap 2 untapped artifacts you control to make a creature unblockable, which we're going to want to do at some point because we need to win the game. Basically is what we want to do. So, she is there, and we can displace her. We can just literally get all the Thopters we want, and then we can tap them all up to make some dudes unblockable, and then swing in for the win. Final creature in the deck, just a single, simple copy of Linvana the Protector. Not the right name. The final creature we have here in the deck is a one lonely single copy of Linvana the Preserver. There she is. 4 and 2 white get you a 5/5 flying body that when she enters the battlefield, if an opponent has more life than you gain 5 life. If they have more creatures than you got another dude. You got a 3/3 angel flying person. Now, it's gonna be rare that you will get the angel. In the games that I played yesterday, I only got her twice, just because generally once you start displacing Linvana, you're going to get more angels, and eventually you're going to have more creatures than them. Also, the thing that does happen a lot is the life one. So if you're down life, you can just keep displacing Linvana until you get more life than them. Boom, you're good. This is a great card to make unblockable with that Whirler Rouge over there. So you tap the 2 artifacts, you let Linvana swing in. If you can displace, or if you have 2 Whirler Rouges out, and you can tap multiple artifacts, and make her and her 3/3 buddy unblockable, that would be grand spectacular. That's generally what you want. This is really your one of your main win conditions in the deck. You can make her unblockable, you just gotta swing in a couple times. You have ways to kind of counteract anything that they might do that's tricky with her, so Linvana, great card. Only a 1 of though, legendary creature rule, and it's an expensive card, and we don't want to have our hand clogged up with too many of them. So, on to the spells. Good old-fashioned spells. Here they are. Lots of counter magic and lots of removal in this deck here. We're gonna start off with the counter magic here. We have 1 copy of Dispel. Pretty straightforward. Actually, you know what? Here, let's do this. I'm gonna go to a screen, and I'm just gonna put up all the counter magic here for you. So we have 1 copy of Dispel. I have 1 copy of Disdainful Stroke. I have 2 copies of Negate, and I have 1 copy of Scattered to the Winds. all removal there, all fairly cheap, which on a good day you can cast. I like Scatter the Winds because, again, if you're in a pinch and it's late game and you happen to have this in your hand, you can do its Awaken cost and get another creature. Negate is always good. You counter a non-creature spell, Disdainful Stroke, later on in the game, something that's converted mana cost 4 or higher, and then Dispel. Countering target instant spells. It's just ways to make it so your Eldrazi Displacer doesn't get taken off the board. Because honestly, you don't need the Displacer there to win the game, but it helps. It's definitely the gas that the deck needs. So you want to make sure that your Displacer stays on the field at all costs. I lost my Displacer a lot yesterday. It sucked. A little more removal we have here. We have 2 copies of Silkwrap, which, just as long as it's on the battlefield, exiles a dude that is 3 or less power, mana cost, convert it to CMC, 3 or less. So, early game removal, really good to have, because you don't want anything to get too out of your hands here. We also have, in the same vein, 2 Stasis Snare. This has flash, so it's good, so you can do it at the end of someone's turn, which is good. You can do it in response to them trying to block you or mess with something. When it enters the battlefield, exile target creature until Stasis Snare leaves the battlefield. Simple, easy, similar to Silkwrap, a little more expensive, 2 white and 1, but effective nonetheless. I have 2 copies of Send to Sleep. This is really synergistic with Harbinger of the Tides. I started off with 4 of these. I went down to 2 after I had a buddy take a look at the deck and they're like, Send to Sleep, I don't know, it seems out of place. I didn't want to take it out completely because I like, you know, the end of someone's turn. If they don't attack, I can tap down 2 of their creatures, and then I can have Harbinger of the Tide come in, send 1 away, and then I can displace it to send the second 1 away. It's just a cool thing. It feels good when you can send to sleep 2 creatures and then, you know, either cast 2 Harbinger of the Tides or cast a Harbinger of the Tides and then a Reflector Mage and just send them all away. It's just cool. It feels good. And when you're playing blue, your goal is to just f up everybody's day. We have 2 copies of Ojutai's Command. This is... it's a good card. A white and a blue and 2. You can choose to return target creature with converted mana cost 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. I can gain 4 life, counter target creature spell, or draw a card. I just when I said the name, I went, but as I'm reading the card, I actually really like this, and actually this prolonged one of my deaths quite a bit. Ojutai's Command, good card, and with this, you'll see a card in the land base that this is going to work really well off of as well. 1 copy of Treasure Cruise. 1 copy of Treasure Cruise. 1 copy of Treasure Cruise. I look like a monkey. And I sound like Krusty Krabs, Mr. Krabs. Krusty Krabs. What the f am I doing with my life, man? Treasure Cruise draws you 3 cards. Alright guys, here we have the lands in the deck. There they are, right here. Take a look at them. It's pretty basic. White, blue, white, mana base. Yeah, I have Flooded Strands in there. Yeah, they're rotating out. That sucks. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out when we get to that point. But for now, they help. They help to have the Flooded Strands. We have the 2 Evolving Wilds simply so we can get the waste if we need the waste. But we also have Mirrorpool, which is the land I was mentioning to you a second ago. The Mirrorpool here normally just adds a colorless, but you can pay 2 in a colorless to sacrifice Mirrorpool, copy target instant or sorcery spell you control, and then choose new targets for the copy. Ojutai's Command, pretty cool. They try to counter your counter, you can do this. Pretty cool. You counter the counter the counter. Not bad. Or you can pay 4 in a colorless, tap and sacrifice Mirrorpool, put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of a target creature you control. Again, just copying creatures and send it back to your hand. Your day up. Now onto the sideboard here. I suck at sideboarding, so somebody please help me. Thank you. Here's the sideboard. It seems alright. Seems pretty cool. I do like Crush of Tentacles. Which I have a 1 copy of in here. Maybe I'll try to shove that in because I just like the card. I don't want to play it. I don't don't know how well it worked in the deck, but not bad. I do have one Dragonlord Ojutai in here. He was in the main, and then I moved him off to the side because, again, it's the high mana cost, and I don't know how he would fit in. Because he doesn't do anything when he enters the battlefield. I do get to draw cards when he does combat damage to a player, which is nice, and he has hexproof when he's just straight up, not tapped. So, I mean, he's a good card. Yeah. Should I put him in the main? Maybe. I don't know. But for now, he's sitting off in the sideboard. He's waiting for his friends. He's looking at them like, oh, it looks really fun, guys. Mind if I play? And everyone's like, F you, Ojutai. You go stay on the bench. And he's like, alright, I'll just keep being a dragon. There you have it, guys. That's the deck. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. Make sure to hit that like button. Since you guys seem to like this so much, like I said, I'm going to try to bring one to you every Saturday. So, you might as well let me know what you like. What do you guys want to see next? Go ahead and leave me a comment down below, and I'll try to put something together if I don't already have something. So yeah, I don't have anything on the horizon yet for it, but I'll think of something. I have a couple decks I can do. So, stick around. Come back here every Saturday, check out the latest deck tech from Nerdworks. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for watching. My name is Corey, and I will catch you next time when we put a random assortment of cards together and hope to God that it works and plays well. Because I'm tired of losing. I don't want to lose anymore. I hate multiplayer games. I do. I just want to play duels. That's all it is. I hate it. I hate it. Okay, bye.